Welcome to the city of Quito, the capital of Ecuador, a city that has been around literally for thousands of years. And in this video today, I'm going to show you guys why this city might just be one of the most incredible cities you're going to see in all of Latin America, from incredibly nice neighborhoods like the one I'm in right now to old historic churches and the old historic center of the city. This is a city that you just cannot miss when you're here in Latin America. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another video here from Ecuador. We are in the city of Quito, which is the capital of the country of Ecuador, and this is a beautiful city. This is a city full of green spaces, full of nice streets. We're actually in a neighborhood called La Mariscal, which is a really nice neighborhood. In fact, most of the nice hotels, there's actually like a Radisson Blu right over there. All the hostels, all the nice hotels are actually all located in this area. From what I understand, Quito is quite a safe city, actually. It's a really nice city to get around. The public transport system is actually really nice. I'm finding it a lot easier to navigate the city than in other big Latin American cities like Lima, for example, where it was a lot harder. But nonetheless, this is a beautiful city, and today we're going to spend our time exploring this beautiful town. Now, of course, Quito actually has a very long history. It was first originally inhabited by a civilization known as the Quitus. They called this Quitu. And this civilization was like from thousands of years ago. Yet when the Incans took over, so the Incans actually conquered this land, their alphabet didn't have U in it, so they changed it to Quito. Now, when the Spanish came, they actually changed it to San Francisco de Quito, but now today we have the city today known as Quito, capital of Ecuador, and that's how people know the name of the city. We're gonna go ahead and walk around. There are a few things to see, so let's go ahead and let's get right into the video here in Quito, Ecuador. One thing that Mariscal is famous for is the place that we are at right here. The Artisan market in Mariscal is one of the biggest you're going to find in all of Quito. And they've literally got 9 different rows of artisan things. Let's go ahead and check it out. I think it's supposed to be really nice. I think it's also a great place in order to buy souvenirs. So worth considering if you want to buy something from Ecuador. This is one artisan market that I can genuinely highly recommend. Usually I go to artisan markets like, oh, you know, it's all the same stuff, but here we've actually got a lot of really cool things, from ponchos, which are classic, but we've also got like snacks. The artwork is honestly incredible, and the quality of it is genuinely really impressive. They also have those hats, the Ecuadorian hats that we explored in Cuenca, the museum. Really recommend this place. I think it's really colorful. I think the market is really nice. I don't usually say that about artisan markets. I don't know if you realize that a lot of artisan markets are really small, or the things aren't really good, or they're very repetitive. But at this market, genuinely, the things are all really incredible, and I'm very impressed by the quality of the goods that they're selling here. So definitely, if you're looking for some artisan work here in Ecuador, this is probably an incredible place to check it out. Coming down literally just one block from the artisan market is Parque El Ejido, an expansive park in the middle of Quito that is honestly beautiful. This is a place where there's a lot of artwork being sold, but not only that, there's a lot of street food vendors selling fruits, vegetables, and anything fresh that you might want. Now you can tell right behind me, Mariscal, the neighborhood that we were at earlier, right on that side. You can see the tall buildings. There's actually a Hilton hotel. You can see Hilton Colon right over there, because those are where all the nice hotels are. And then from here on south is actually a different region of Quito. So Mariscal is on that side, that's where all the nice hotels are. And once you get to the Parque El Ejido, you know, you are in a different part of the city. But it is a nice, very nice green area. You've got a lot of people strolling around just like any other Latin American park. It is nice, it is breezy, and the good thing is here in Quito, when you're in the shade, it's actually quite cool. When you're out in the sun, it's quite hot. So when it gets too hot, just go into the shade and it feels perfect because there's still wind that's blowing through here, through the mountains, through the valleys, because Quito is literally located in an entire valley, which makes it for a very, very nice breezy experience as you're walking through the park. Just a generally really nice place to walk around and enjoy the beauty of Quito. I guess if you're a police officer here, you gotta learn how to ride a horse. It seems like when they patrol the park, they're doing it on horseback. So if you're a police officer, horse riding is an essential skill here in Ecuador. According to this sign, you can pay $20. They'll clean your intestines. You just gotta call this number right here. I don't know if you trust that. I don't know if I trust that. But $20 for an intestine cleaning. Either it's a really, really good deal, or you'll probably lose your intestines after it. Right in front of me is probably one of the most incredible things you're gonna see here in all of Quito. This is a church that breaks a lot of records in its own way. This is the Basilica del Voto Nacional, or the Basilica of the National Vote, and it is built in this beautiful Neo-Gothic style and happens to be the tallest Neo-Gothic sort of temple, religious temple in the world, based on altitude. It is massive, it is grand. I think just from the drone shots you can see how big it is. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if we can go inside. Is a pretty massive church. It was built in the 1800s, and actually the Pope came here and actually had a speech here and everything. So it is a very important place, and it's not just a religious place, it's a political place as well. If there are any big state events, state functions, they happen here at the Basilica. In fact, the president is actually buried in the back here of this cathedral. So it's a really, really, really big thing. It's massive. Once you leave the church, once you get to the exit, you actually get greeted with the Panteón Nacional de los Jefes del Estado, which is the national pantheon of the chiefs of state, which means anyone that has led the country of Ecuador, any presidents, they're all buried in there. Unfortunately, it's locked, it's vaulted. We can't actually go in. But the church itself is incredible. It's one of the most beautiful churches I've seen. It's actually the largest Neo-Gothic church in all of the Americas. So if you think about that, I mean, it is really, really massive. Like, you would expect something in France, but not here in Ecuador. You are actually able to go up to the clock tower and go up for a price of, I think, $4. So that is another option you can do if you want to have a viewpoint. And you might think, well, you know, this old building, not really, it's not that old. It doesn't even have over 200 years of history. So it's not a really, really old building, but at the same time, it is just so beautiful and so grand on the inside that alone is worth a visit to come see this basilica. Welcome to historic Quito. This is the Centro Histórico, and these are where you see the old, charming, colonial buildings of Quito. Now, this place is incredible, and in fact, I've heard so many people tell me how historic Central Quito is probably one of the most beautiful places you're going to see in Latin America. And truly, if you look around me, there are so many incredible buildings. We are currently in La Plaza Grande. This is your main plaza, your main central plaza here in the center of the city. It is stunning, it is beautiful, and here in the center of the plaza is a monument dedicated to the heroes who have fought for the independence of Ecuador. Remember, Quito is not just a religious center, it's also the political and cultural center of the city. Now, along the sides of this plaza are a few very interesting things. The first of which we're going to check out right now. This this is a church that is right next to the main plaza. It's La Iglesia El Sagrario, I think the name of it is called. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can check out another church here in central historic Quito. This place is actually La Iglesia Primada de Quito, the first one here in Quito. And they've actually turned it into a museum, which is why behind me you see all these old robes that were worn by the clergy here in the church. But the church is definitely much older. You can definitely tell the vibe is very, very different from the other church that we explored earlier, the Basilica. That's new. That was only built like a few hundred years ago. This is even more few hundred years ago before that. So this was, like I said, the first church here in Quito. Really cool about the place inside is that is where Mariscal Sucre is buried. Now, who is Mariscal Sucre? He was a major general and politician from Venezuela, and actually he ended up being the president of Bolivia during the Revolutionary War against Spain. So he was really important. Now he's ultimately buried here, and even though he was from Venezuela, president of Bolivia, he's buried in here, Ecuador, which is very interesting. But you literally see there's this entire room where he's buried, and all the honors, like all the countries in Latin America have paid homage to him, because without him, you know, Latin America wouldn't be as it is today. He was so influential in forming Latin America, in fighting for the independence of Latin America during the 1800s. Like I said, it's a museum more than it is a church. The church part is great, it's incredible, you see a lot of the Christian history, but for me, it's the fact that Mariscal Sucre is buried here, which is, you know, if you wonder, this morning we started off in La Mariscal. Where does Mariscal come from? Well, it's the name of the general who fought against for the independence of Latin America and fought for the organization of Latin America as we know it. So that is why it's so interesting, and that is why it is probably one of the must-sees here in the historical center of Quito. The other side of the square is this incredible building here. This is the presidential palace. The actual president of Ecuador lives right here. Every Monday at 11 a.m. they have a change of guard, and the change of guard is supposed to be something that's like incredible. Like, it's supposed to involve like horses coming in and everything. It's a big deal. Unfortunately, today is not Monday. Today is actually Tuesday, so we do not get to see the change of guard. But if you are in Quito and you are here on a Monday, come check out the change of guard. But unfortunately, today is not a Monday, so we're gonna move on. Of course, within the historical center of Quito, every street is beautiful, every street is unique, every street is different, and every street is worth walking through. But there is one street in particular that is very famous. It's a street full of restaurants, nice cafes, and it is a street that is very famous here in the center of Quito, Ecuador. This is the street of Calle La Ronda, and as you can see behind me, it is filled, lined with restaurants, with cafes, with little snack shops. It is an incredible place, and it is beautiful. You've got these sort of archway lights, as you can probably see behind me, that sort of light up the entire street. You've got these old colonial buildings that sort of line both sides, and it's an only pedestrian walk, which means that there's no cars, there's no motorcycles running by you. That's a big problem in the other streets of the historic center, because you want to enjoy it, but then vroom, you know, you've got a car that passes by. Here in the center, here in Calle La Ronda, that is not the case. But it is definitely a really nice little street, as you can probably tell behind me. Narrow, it's got restaurants, but it is incredible. Now, when it comes to Quito, Ecuador, there are a couple of symbols that once you see, you immediately recognize Quito. One of those is the Basilica we saw earlier in the morning. Another one is the Centro Histórico. There's also one more that is so important. It cannot be missed when you are here in Quito. The monument right behind me is the one that I am talking about. This is Virgen el Panecillo. La Virgen del Panecillo basically sits overlooking the entire city. You can see that is the Virgin, right? That's the statue right behind me. It's really, really big. It's extremely tall. And then you have the entire city of Quito right there. This is north facing. And why is that good? Because north facing is everything that we've come to today. We literally started all the way in the back. We've walked all the way to the church, walked to Centro Histórico, and then we come up here to La Virgen del Panecillo. Now, a couple things to know about La Virgen del Panecillo. First, this area is not exactly the safest place. So, when you're coming up here, either take a bus or a taxi, but do not walk up here. And I'm telling you this from the information that cops have given me. Local cops here in Quito have literally told me, do not walk up here, you will get robbed with just one punch. So when you're coming up here, just know it's a little bit dangerous. Second thing you should know is that the late afternoon time, the clouds start rolling in. The darkest of the dark clouds are rolling in. That means a rainstorm is coming soon. Let me show you guys why this is one of the must-view spots here in the city of Quito. I have to say, whoever built this definitely found a good viewpoint, because you can literally see the entire city of Quito right below me, and you can see the old historic center, the churches, the old buildings, they're all there. And it looks amazing. Everything just looks so small from all the way up here. And when you're down there, you can actually see the Virgen del Panecillo. You can actually see it from the old historic town, but seeing everything from here, you can literally see as far as you want all into Quito and beyond even Quito. You can see the volcanoes, you can see the mountains far away. That's just because of how high we are. Something interesting that I also noticed is that you notice that Quito's not flat. You notice that the entire city is sort of sloping uphill as it moves forward. So where we're staying, our hostel, which is near La Mariscal, which is where we started this morning, that's a little bit of a higher elevation area than the old town, which you can see right here is right below here. It sort of slants into the city. It just goes to show you that when you're traveling around Quito and you're walking around the city, be aware that it's not the flattest city in the world. It does get a little bit hilly sometimes. It goes incline, it goes decline, and you just got to keep that in mind when you're walking around the city. But this is La Virgen del Panecillo, and that's going to be it for our video here from Quito, Ecuador. And anybody's saying, why are you not staying here till sunset? Like I said, this zone here is not really the safest place. In fact, I took a taxi up here because I couldn't get a bus up here. The taxi driver was telling me once the sun sort of gets around setting time, this entire area gets really dangerous. So that's why I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here, and I'm gonna take a bus back into the center of the city because I do not want to get robbed. I have a history of getting robbed at viewpoints. In Oaxaca, that's where I got robbed, and I'm not gonna get robbed here again in Quito. So we're gonna be smart, we're gonna be wise, and we're gonna leave this part of town as soon as we can. On top of that, if you can see, the dark clouds are sort of moving in. So a thunderstorm is gonna start in probably like 30 minutes to an hour. So the best thing to do is probably get back into the city, get some shelter, and get some rest. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. For me, Quito has been an incredible city. The old historic downtown area is beautiful. It truly is incredible. I loved the church. Even the morning when we started off in La Mariscal with the Artisan market. Very interesting. There's just so many things to do. And you know, on top of what we've seen today, there's so many more things to do. There are so many churches in the historic center that we didn't explore. The entire street area, it's just a really nice place to explore. You've got old buildings, you've got old colonial buildings that were built by the Spanish when they came and conquered Quito. So very interesting city, very beautiful city in my opinion, and as you can see, it stretches on forever and ever into the valleys up north. But with that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. And so when you're in Ecuador, please come visit Quito. It is a very nice city. That's gonna be it from Quito, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.